Welcome to WordPress Basics Module 4, Adding Images. Okay, this week we're going to talk about how we can kind of, I would say, pretty up our website, the demo website that we've been working on a little bit more. So we're going to be talking about how you add images in this particular lesson of Module 4, and then the next two lessons we'll talk a bit about video and audio. Okay, I'm going to click over to our website, demo website that we're working on, that we're kind of adding to. And right now it's pretty text heavy. So we're going to pick one of these blog posts, maybe one of these pages, and we're going to add some images to it. And so we're going to click back over to our area where we will go to the post section. If you remember last week on the module for the last module 3, we created 2 blog posts that were scheduled and one that was a draft, and one that is where we have 2 that are already published. I think for our purposes, we'll just go to My Trip, and we're going to plug in a picture. And let's do that by going to Add an Image. Right above this editor, you'll notice there is, and I'm kind of clicking on, or not clicking, but I'm rolling over it. This little icon has Add an Image, and next to it you see Add Video, Add Audio, Add Media. So those are some of the things that are, you won't find down here. If you've been looking down here for adding images, it's actually up here next to the upload insert part. So we're going to click on Add an Image. And if I have these images on my hard drives, like I actually stored the images in a folder on my desktop, I could click Select Files, and that would actually pull up the window on my desktop for me to see it. Or if I wasn't interested, if I already had them, oh, there it goes. Those are the 4 files. I actually uploaded these files prior to starting this demo, so I'm going to cancel that. You can bring it in as a URL. For instance, if there is an image that you found and you have the URL, you can bring it in here. I would not recommend using image URLs for 2 reasons. One, the image that you're using, there could be copyright issues. So you may not just want to pull any image from any website and just plop it into your website. That there could be some legalities with that. The second reason is if you use an image from someone else's website, you don't really have control over that image. Meaning if for some reason they took their website down or it went down, because of server issues, that means that image would be broken on your website, and that wouldn't look good on your part. So if you decide to do this, I would be careful about that. I actually would recommend really not linking to a image URL if you don't have to. I'm going to skip this gallery and go over to the media library for a second. Just a while ago when I clicked, these were the images that were on my hard drive that I actually already uploaded to the website. And you can click on Show. And there's a couple of things in here you can change. When I uploaded this a while ago, I changed this to say photo of an editor's red pen. I wanted it to be more descriptive. And then another area is alternate text, excuse me. Some people don't really fill this information in, but it is important for web accessibility reasons. I think back in the early 2000s, there was legislature that started where they want to make all websites accessible to anyone. For example, if a visually impaired person went to your website, we take for granted that we can see these pictures or photos, but they can't. And they use particular equipment called screen readers that will read your web page. So if you have really important information on your web page and they come across this photo, it kind of helps them to get a description of, what they cannot see there. So that's the reason for that. I would, definitely recommend, taking the extra time to add the alternate text, which in the web world, they just kind of call alt tags, but you don't need to know all of that. A couple other things underneath here, you can use captions. I'm not really a big fan of that. Depending on the theme you use, sometimes it's good to have descriptions. You may want the description here, for your purposes, if you have a lot of graphics and some of them maybe look the same, if you want to kind of see the differences between them. You do have your own URL that you can use for the image. And you can align the image if you want it to be left, center, or right. And here's the sizes of the images. Notice the full size. This is actually the size of the graphic that you uploaded. I often upload really large graphics, so they may be like 1,000 times 700 or something like that. It's always good to start with the graphic as large as possible, because as you notice, for this particular reason, it's not showing large, but WordPress actually resizes the images down for you. So if you start with the image as large as possible, really nice high resolution image, it'll always look good, as WordPress resizes it. But say you started off with an image that was smaller, and then you're trying to resize it to be bigger later, that never looks good. If you notice, if you ever had a small image and you maybe pulled into a Word document or something, and you tried to stretch it, and you ever notice it looks really bad and pixelated, and that's because it's just not cool. You really just need to start with the image as large as possible. So this full size will usually be the size that is what you uploaded. Okay, so I'm just going to hit insert into post for now. I'm not going to change anything just yet. So we're going to see how the image looks. Okay, we have the image in our post, but it doesn't really look that great. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hit update just to see how it looks on the actual web page. So I'm going to click back over to our web page and I'm going to hit reload. Okay, so there's the image. Not too crazy about it. I think it would look better maybe to the left or the right. I think to the left with the text wrapped around it. So I think I should left align it. So I'm going to go back to the post. And if you're playing around with the images and you kind of want to edit it, if you scroll over and you click on the image, you notice you have two buttons come up. One is the edit image, or it just disappeared. Edit, edit, and then the other was a delete. So we're going to click on edit. And notice one of the first things it'll say is, you can left, and it'll show you at the top. You can center it, right. I'm going to go with the left align. Let's see, what's some other things you could do here? I think the image is a little bit too big. So it'll let you kind of resize it a little bit. I think I want it to be, let's go with 80% smaller. So I'm going to click on 80% smaller, and I'm going to, make sure it's left aligned. And for now, I'm going to update and just see how that looks. I'm kind of liking that. That's looking a little better. So I'm going to click update. And I'm going to go out and click reload. And I probably didn't have to resize it 80%, but that looks okay. So that looks a little better than it did. So that's kind of what you can do with images. I'm going to click back over. And I want to just click on edit image again. And I want to go back out to advanced settings just to show you what's under there. If you wanted to put a border or make the more space between the vertical or the horizontal, this is the area that you can add that. Also, if you wanted to add if you wanted someone to click on that picture and go to another website, you can hyperlink or add a link here or the title, and you can add where the link would go here so that people, when they click on it, they'll be taken to another website. So those are just some other things that I want you to be aware of under the advanced settings. So I'm going to close that out. And that's pretty simple with what you can do with images. I do want to take a look at the media button over here. Just bring up the media library. And right now, remember, I think maybe back in module 2, I mentioned you can add images such as JPEGs. You can add GIFs. You can add pings to this particular section. You can upload video, audio. We'll talk about that in the next modules. And as you can see, we have some text here. You can upload a Word document or a PDF. So there are lots of different things that you can upload and manage in this particular section. So right now we have a couple of images, and you can see if for some reason you need to go back and if you need to edit one. One of the cool things about WordPress is that it'll let you do some really simple edits. Like for this particular one here, I'm going to click on Edit Image. And once you are under Edit Image, it'll let you do a few things. You can crop. You can kind of change around the orientation. It'll let you flip it back. So there's a couple of things that you can do editing wise that you may need to do. For example, say I wanted to crop this image. I think you have to double click on this crop and then stretch across the image. Say I just want this part. If I just want that part, then you would double click, and there you see it changes the image. So you can go in if you want to. I'm not going to really save that, but there's a couple of things under here that will let you, really play around with the images. I'm going to cancel that for now. Yes. Okay. So just want you to make you aware. I'm going to go back out to the library. If you really wanted to edit or change the titles, like you could be more descriptive, the writer and her laptop. You can go out here and really make the media library better than just what it offers if you're a person who's really into details. Okay, so that's all about adding images. And really quickly, I'm going to pull up some websites. You will see at the bottom of the post of places where you can find some really cool photos. So one of them is istockphoto.com. This is a place that I go quite often to find pictures. I probably go here more than any other place. Another one is dreamstein.com. And this is another good place. And you can kind of just type in these. Let's say I want to find, it's not snowing right now, but say I want to find a picture with snow. There's lots and lots of images that'll come up for you to choose from. And these are relatively, inexpensive places. I'm going to go over to iStock and do the same one. Snow. It's kind of cold outside, so I know it's not going to be snowing anytime soon, but it felt appropriate because it's so cold here to pull up something about winter. So you can see there's lots of great images, and the pricing isn't too bad to download these photos and add them to your library. So you can really dress up your website, pretty well with some nice images. And so I'm going to leave you there. We're going to go back over to post, and we'll come back, and for one of these other blog posts in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to add video. So see you in a couple of minutes.